Hey everyone, it's Heather with Her Wellbeing, Ayurveda, and Yoga here with you at Helium Restore in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Welcome to today's yoga session. Today we'll be focusing on a new moon yin yoga flow. So, yin is a style of yoga that includes longer held postures. So you're in these yoga poses for a little bit longer, so you can get a more deep stretch. So that is the point of yin yoga, to get more deeply into the body, to be able to really stretch and release tension. So, and this practice is specific for a new moon flow. Maybe your energy is feeling a little low. You're looking for something low key for your yoga practice. And the new moon happens to be associated with menstruation. So if you're coming closer to your cycle, whether or not it's aligned with the new moon, this may feel like a more appropriate practice for you. It's a very grounded practice. We stay pretty much on the ground, on with our bodies in almost in full contact with the ground, the entire time. So you could even do this flow as a bedtime ritual to get ready, and wind down for bed. It's a great way to stretch the body, especially to help release this tension that we hold throughout the day so that we can get better rest. So, whatever your intention is for this new moon yin yoga flow, let's bring it on and get started. So as always, I like to start with some props handy. I've got a couple of blocks, firm ones here. I have a blanket and I have a bolster, a firm one, as well. And you might use pillows, soft pillows, firm pillows, whatever kind of support you're looking for today. But a yin practice is really lovely if you can add some support. It helps with that grounding earth element. We will start on our backs. So take a moment to get comfortable on your back, and you can do that with knees bent. Roll back and get comfortable. Again, you can keep the knees bent here so that you can feel the whole of your back in contact with the ground. Take a few moments to settle in, make any small or big movements that feel good that your body needs right now. I'll invite you to relax the shoulder blades. So that means dropping them down away from the ears and tucking them very gently underneath your rib cage, almost like so that your rib cage has this platform to rest upon. Both feet parallel on the ground, toes pointing forward. We'll take a few moments here to get in tune with the breath. Notice the inhales and the exhales and what they feel like. The breath bringing oxygen, nutrients, and prana with each inhalation, and letting go with each exhalation, letting go of anything that you want to let go of in that moment. Following the breath and letting the mind's attention ride the rhythm of the breath, the waves of the breath. You may place your hands on the belly. Feel the belly gently expand on the inhale and gently empty out on the exhale. all the while starting to press the lower back, in particular the sacrum, down against the ground. So the sacrum is this bony mound at the base of the spine. You can think of it as the foundation of the spine, and it is flanked by either side of the pelvis, by both sides of the pelvis, right? So they're kind of like the low back conjoined part that's part of the hips, part of your pelvis bone. So start to press that down. You can also press down through your feet. You can press down through the hands and the arms. And then very slowly begin to circle around the sacrum. So you can think of your sacrum as a clock with 12 towards your belly button and 6 towards your tailbone. So take a moment to very slowly and rhythmically visit each hour of the day. And you'll notice that certain deep abdominal uh, muscles are activated in order for you to keep the sacrum pressing against the ground in these different areas. You'll notice the knees will gently sway a little from side to side. And then there's also a sense of the pelvis tilting forward as you press down towards 6 and the belly pulling inward as you press up towards 12 on the sacrum clock. So just get a sense of what the pelvis is doing, rocking from side to side and front to back. Take a moment to pause and reverse those circles. Go counterclockwise now. Keep the shoulders relaxed, the face, the head, the neck, and just the lower back, deep abdominal muscles, and the lower body working together here. Good. And then come to stillness for a few breaths here. And eventually gather the knees in towards your chest. Give them a squeeze in towards you. Keep the shoulders relaxed. A big breath in. Fill up with air and a complete breath out. Let it go. You might do that once or twice more. And then here as well, you might tune into any sacral rocking that feels good. Letting the knees circle round. And you can do this with knees separated like so, or draw the knees together, maybe using the hands to guide your knees around in a circle in one direction and then the other. Maybe you'd like to just do pendulum swings here with the knees, focusing on the lower part of the sacrum. Good. Taking lots of time to care for our low backs. It's a very important foundational part of our spine. So important. Good. Take a moment to just rock and roll it out, and then bring the knees in, give them another squeeze. And we'll keep the right knee in towards us. You can interlace the fingers and bring the hands just below the knee to squeeze the thigh in towards your midline. If you want, you can activate the muscles of the left leg, pressing the leg down, pressing the heel down, and drawing the toes back towards you, flexing your foot. Be careful not to lock the knee joint. Balance across the hips. You'll notice that this right hip might want to edge up a little bit. Take an exhale and send that hip down as you draw the left hip. So that's what I mean by balancing across the hips. Good. Keep squeezing that thigh in. Maybe take a couple of big breaths right into that thigh. Feel the belly expand. and resist against the thigh. Full breaths in and complete breaths out. Imagine you have a great big balloon inside your torso, and as you inhale, you're blowing up that balloon into the belly, ribs, and chest, expanding in all directions, even into the back body. Getting fuller with breath. And then when you're ready and you can't hold it any longer, exhale and let it go. And then we'll let the knee out to the side. You can keep hanging on with the right hand here. And maybe there's some gentle knee circles that you'd like to explore. Just taking the knee around in one way and then the other. Again, keep the shoulders relaxed and then let the knee fall out to the side, just like so. The foot can come down to the ground. You might find helpful a folded blanket under that knee. And take a few moments here, breathe, relax, soften the body as much as you can. This is going to stretch the inner leg, inner thigh, start to open up that right hip. You can spend as long as you'd like here, but if you're ready to move on, bring that knee in once again, give it a squeeze. Activate the left leg. On your next exhale, bring the head up, curl up, and reach your nose towards your belly button. Keep the shoulders grounded. This is to stretch the back of the neck, the back of the head, tops of the shoulders. Keep pressing the shoulder girdle down as you draw the nose up and forward. Flex the left foot. You can flex both feet here and get really tight. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. One more breath in and out here. And then let it go. On an exhale, you can let that right leg go completely. And just notice the right side of the body. Take a full breath in gently. And let it go on the exhale. Settle into that moment of stillness in between postures just to take stock of how you feel. Good. We'll move to the other side. Now, the left knee coming in, squeeze the knee in, activate the right leg, press it down, press that hip down, draw that hip slightly up as you press the left hip down. Balance across the hips. Relax the shoulders, tuck the shoulder blades underneath you. That helps to broaden across the chest. Flex both feet if you'd like. The back of the knee of the right knee is soft. Good. Good. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze that left thigh in. Take a full breath in and a complete breath out. Feel the belly expanding against the thigh. Do that once or twice more here. Really engage with the breath. Your breath is what you want to work with to deepen the stretch and to deepen this pose. And just as we did before, you can start to circle the knee. That will help to circle the hip as well. Explore some knee and hip circles in one direction and then the other. Take your time and really get a sense of where the joints feel fuzzy or sticky or juicy. Just getting a sense of what's there. Re- uh, Reverse the rotation there. And then again, when you're ready, let the knee fall out to the side. Let the foot come down to the ground. I have a bolster back here. I'm going to use that and tuck that under my knee so I can let that hip open up very gently. And breathe here. Tuck the shoulders underneath you. Lift the head, tuck the chin, lengthen the back of the neck. And breathe. Everything is soft in the lower body. You can take the arms down to the floor. Palms facing up to help tuck those shoulders underneath, broaden the chest, open the heart. Gentle breaths in and out. And again, you can stay here as long as you want, as long as this feels good. If you're ready to move on, bring that knee in. Give it a squeeze in towards you. Activate both feet. Draw the head up. Reach the nose forward. Press the shoulder blades down to the ground underneath you. Keep them firm and grounded as you stretch the back of the neck. Now, if you have something going on with your neck and this doesn't feel good, obviously you can skip this altogether. Try to keep the hips balanced. If you want, you can even reach for this foot and press the foot into the hands into the foot. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. One more breath in here. And then release the head down to the ground on an exhale. And bring this foot up. Grab hold of that foot, grab hold of the ankle joint, whatever feels good. Keep the shoulders grounded. You can bend this right knee if that feels good. And we're going to bring the knee out to the side. So it's tucking into the inner arm, the armpit. So you can think of this as half happy baby pose. Flex the foot. Good. If you want, you can keep that right leg extended, but soft. And breathe. Breathe into that hip, squeezing the thigh into the side body here. Any kind of rocking or circling, small movements are welcome here. And even rolling over to the right side. You might need to bring that left or that right knee up a little bit to facilitate this roll over to the left side, and then slowly rolling back. We're going to switch legs here. Take that foot down. Take a moment to breathe into that hip, and then bring the other knee up and in, and bring the right foot up. Grab hold of the outer foot, or you can grab with both hands. Drawing that knee down towards the armpit, the thigh into the side abdomen. And just let the left leg do whatever it wants to do. So pressing that down, foot lifted. Taking a few breaths in and out here. Try to keep your attention on your breath flowing. And then if you want to, you can roll over onto your right side here. And again, just letting the left leg do whatever it wants to do. This provides a nice stretch into the right shoulder as well, into the neck. Good. Then if you want to work in a flow, bringing both feet together, holding onto both feet, like cobbler's pose on your back. We'll do that to the right, again, rolling over to the right. Take a few moments to pause here. Breathe into the stretch. Bring that and over to the other side. The left leg lifts, rolling over towards the left. Just like that, breath by breath, rolling from side to side. And you can hang out any place where it feels a little sticky, or there's an invitation there to just hang out a little bit more and let the head rock from side to side as well. So you're getting a nice massage in the back of the head, and then bringing the toes together. Once more, squeezing the knees in. If you want, you can draw the knees a little closer as you bring the nose closer to the knees. Again, keep the shoulder blades down. Stretch the back of the neck as long as it feels comfortable there. Try to keep breathing here. And then when you're ready, we'll start to roll up. So kick the feet back and roll up and back again, just a few times to roll out the spine. And you'll want to round your back. So you're rolling on the outer spinal muscles. Those are the paraspinal muscles, not your spine, only going back as far as your shoulders. Tucking the chin if that's helpful. Maybe do that one more time. And then sitting up, take the knees wide now in cobbler's pose. Feet pressing in, soles of the feet pressing in together. I have my bolster in front of me now. You can use your bolster or some blocks. Good. Just getting that ready for our next pose. Grab onto the feet or the ankles. Press the ankles down, the knees down, lift the chest and the whole rib cage up and away. Pressing the hips down, the sitting bones down, and get a sense of creating space in your torso with each breath. I like to interlace my fingers and scoop them under my feet, and then I can press my feet down into my hands and lift up and away. Taking gentle, complete breaths in. Full breaths. If you want to use ujjayi breathing here, that can feel good too. Exhale, full breaths out. Drawing the belly in towards the spine as the exhale releases out. Inhale, full breaths in. Imagine that great big balloon inside of you getting bigger in the belly, ribs, and chest. The whole rib cage lifts, the whole shoulder blade lifts up and away without it drawing up towards your ears. Right? So your rib cage and your shoulders moving in one unit, up and away, lifting the heart up and away. Find more internal space and breathe into that space as much as you can. Full breaths in, fill yourself up. Fill yourself with the sensation and sound of breath. Maybe there's a gentle pause at the top, and then exhale completely out through the nose or the mouth, drawing belly towards you, emptying out completely, and visiting that pause in between the breath, especially the one at the end of the breath, that if that feels comfortable. Take another breath in here. Full breath in, find a little bit more space. And now on the exhale, we'll hinge forward, go slow, hinge forward very gently, draw your torso down. You can transfer the hands forward onto your support to find length in the torso, maybe a little bit of wiggling here from side to side. If this feels really tight in the hips, push the feet away just a little bit. Tilt the hips forward and breathe. Now, if you're really flexible and you have a lot of forward motion in the pelvis, try tucking the tailbone down behind you like an anchor. Grab hold, drop the tail, and forward fold. For some of us, it's going to feel better to let the hips roll forward completely without that contrast of the tail tucking. So you figure out what feels best for your low back. Drop the shoulders away, tuck them into the back body, broaden the chest, lift the ribs, dropping away in the heart, away from the belly. The same cues. We're just doing so now, leaning forward. Careful not to dump into the ribs. Draw the ribs up and in. Keep the ribs together without allowing them to, those lower ribs to slide forward like this. You can see what happens when I let my ribs slide forward, my front ribs, then I start to get a little strain in my low back. So keep those low ribs in, draw the ribs up. Full breaths in, full breaths out. Now, if this still feels really tight, you're welcome to open the legs wide as it's comfortable. Careful not to take them so wide that you'll dump into the low back. Yes. So keep the legs a little closer together so your low back has some integrity here and has a little bit of room to tilt forward, even if it's just this much. And breathe into the stretch. Feel the torso expanding, the rib cage lifting and expanding in all directions, the heart lifting. And a complete breath out. And maybe on that breath out, you feel a little bit more spaciousness to stretch into. Be careful not to force it. And again, the hands can come down onto the bolster here for support. You can even bring the bolster up high like this to support elbows. You can take elbows down, the hands up to the forehead. And I'm very, very gently pressing my legs down towards the ground and pointing toes towards the ceiling. And again, does it make sense to tuck the tail, to anchor the tail behind you, or do you need more of that forward tilting motion? You decide what's right for your body. Hang out here really for as long as you want, maybe a couple more breaths. And then when you're ready to move on, we'll start to prop ourselves back up, sitting up tall. And take the bolster in front of you. You will bend knees. Let's see. Bend the right knee, both knees, and swing the left leg behind you. So I'm staggering my legs. My right knee is in front and my bolster is in front of me. Now leaning forward into a modified reclined pigeon pose. Again, use that bolster to support. You can take blocks out in front of the bolster to support the hands. Reach through the arms, take the chin down, the forehead down, whatever feels good here. Now we're putting some pressure onto this right hip, right knee, if that feels okay. If not, move that knee more out the side or inward, okay, to put less pressure on that knee. Okay, coming forward, big breaths in here, breathing into that right hip. Now, if you want to come into full pigeon pose, that is an option here for some of you. And that means taking that back leg and swinging it all the way back behind you. Now, this may not work for some of us. Just play a little bit. I like a little blanket tucked under my right hip. Tuck the back toes to strengthen, support the back, the bottom or lower leg. And hang out and breathe here only for as long as it is comfortable. And this can be fairly intense, so breathe through it. And if it's too intense, obviously you can come out of it at any time, or you can switch back to the modified version where we're bending the back knee. And I'll give you, let me show you a version. I'll show you the other side of that. So it looks like this. See, my both knees are bent. The bolster is in front of my right knee, and I'm leaning forward, forward folding over that right knee, maybe in between the knees if it doesn't feel good to place pressure right over that right knee. Again, if you're going to work into the full pose, pigeon pose, then you're lengthening the leg behind you. So we're going to do that to the other side. Switch legs. The left knee, both knees bent, left knee in front. Okay, take the bolster out in front of you and lower down, just like so. And again, you can bring the blocks in front of the bolster for more support here. The bolster up high to support the elbows, hands support the head. And breathe. Settle into any variation of this pose that feels right for you. And when you're ready, slowly come on up and we'll roll back onto our backs again for our final pose. That's going to lead us up to relaxation. So I'm going to keep my props handy. We'll want those for relaxation. Roll onto your back. The knees can bend, the feet can be down on the ground. Widen the feet. The feet are parallel, but widen them to hip distance, maybe a little wider. And take the arms out to the sides. Let me move this guy out of the way. Good. Just take a moment to feel your back, feel into your back, feel into the sacrum, maybe press the sacrum down. Maybe you'd like to do some sacral swings from side to side, maybe a full sacral circle. Just tune in to how the low back is feeling. And then we'll wag the knees over to the left. And as we do that, drop the left arm down and reach past the right hand. So I'm reaching, here's my right hand here. I'm sweeping past that right hand for a full arm circle here. And this is going to work the shoulder. And now keep the legs over on the left as you let the arms circle out to the other side. Look towards the hand to stretch the neck. You can do a few circles like that. Arm sweeps down past the hip, past the arm. That's going to put pressure on that left shoulder as long as it feels okay. Up and over. You can lean back as the arm sweeps in a full circle behind you. This is a great stretch for the neck too. And then roll onto your back. You can do that a couple times more if you'd like. We're going to do that to the other side. This time the knees fall towards the right. The left arm sweeps down, reaches past the left arm. Up and over. Try to keep the shoulders away from the ears. Find a slow, complete circle with the arm. Let the shoulder blade release down to the ground as that arm is coming around. Slow it down. And again, notice where there is an invitation to hang out a little longer. Like for me, especially when my arm comes around here, I could hang out here for a couple of breaths just to open up the shoulder, open up the chest, press that shoulder down a little bit towards the ground. and then complete the circle. Maybe some of you want to spend a little bit more time reaching past that arm that's grounded to stretch into the shoulder that's underneath you. Everything is optional here. It's really about listening to your own body and figuring out what feels right for you. And then we'll very gently let the knees, you'll roll onto your back first and then let the knees wag from side to side and massage your low back. You can also let the head sway from side to side. And then coming into stillness on the back. If you want, you can set yourself up for a restorative pose here, taking the knees wide, the feet together. I like to use a bolster or a stack of pillows right underneath the knees that support my feet as well. Tuck the shoulder blades underneath, lift the head, tuck the chin, stretch out the back of the head. Arms comfortably at your sides, palms facing up to help release the shoulders. And take several deep breaths here, just softening and releasing into this posture. And if this feels too tight and stretchy-ish, you can unwind the legs and just simply let the bolster support the legs or the knees. I really like taking the bolster under the knees, especially if you do have low back pain. And taking a few more breaths here, more gentle breaths now. Release effort over breathing and just let the breath be and let it flow as it wants to. Observe the breath flowing in, flowing out. Now you can stay here much longer if you'd like and get some decent rest. Just let your body and your breath be. Notice the dance between the breath and the body. Or if you're ready to move on, gather the knees in, give yourself a squeeze, wrap the arms around the knees, relax the shoulders. Maybe there's some gentle rocking that you like to do here. Maybe there's a full happy baby pose. Maybe there's some rocking from side to side that you'd like to do in Happy Baby, or maybe you'd like to straighten one leg and then the other. Just take a moment to stretch out any way you'd like. Rocking to one side and then the other. Letting the head rock as well. And then bringing the feet together. Knees wide. Knees together. And then rolling over to one side and taking a moment to curl up. Find a comfortable shape. Take a full, gentle breath in. Let it go on the exhale. Press the hands down to lift up. And find a rolled up blanket or block to sit on just for a moment as we Goes with a gratitude meditation, placing our palms together in front of the heart center, roll the shoulders back, lift the heart into the hands, lift the whole rib cage up. Find that spaciousness in the spine. Once again, relax the shoulders, the head, and the neck. Feel the strength and the stability of the whole pelvis, the low back supporting you, this whole pelvic bowl. And taking a moment to visualize that bowl as completely empty and the breath massaging the space inside the bowl. Breath flowing in and then breath emptying out of the bowl. You can visualize the breath, or you can visualize water filling up the bowl and water emptying out. And taking a few moments to offer some gratitude. First, for yourself. Thank yourself for carving out this time to do yoga, to take care of yourself, to listen in, listen to your body and your heart. And then to also gratitude for all living creatures, that we share this energy of consciousness with. Thanking yourself, thanking one and all, near and far, known and unknown, or yet to be known. We give gratitude. Namaste. Thanks for joining me for this new moon yin yoga flow. I hope, again, remember to allow it to manifest and express through you in any way that feels good to you. That's what's most important, that it feels really authentic to what it is you really need out of this yoga flow. Maybe it's just a really long shavasana or relaxation or yoga nidra. So please come back, visit again. This practice gets rich and richer, deep every time you revisit it. I'll see you back here. This is Heather with Her Wellbeing, Ayurveda, and Yoga, wishing you well.